Hello, good afternoon and welcome to News Today here on your Journey channel on Multi TV. Coming up, police in the Ashanti region arrest 54 suspected armed robbers following the death of 2 others in a gun battle. We'll tell you more in a bit, but also ahead. President John Dramani Mahama arrives in the oil city of Takoradi, the capital town of the Western region. And as we approach the general election, we ask how social media activities by the various political parties are likely to affect your vote in deciding who governs the country from 2017. We have details of these plus many others, including business, sports, some entertainment news, as well as international updates, all coming up in the next hour here on News Today. Stay with us. My name is Kwabna Chenchehenibuati. Many thanks for joining us here on News Today. To our very first story, these are an inhabitant of the Bongo and Kasana West districts of the Upper East region are being sensitized on using ideas that are familiar within their local environment to promote water sanitation. The Water Sanitation and Hygiene for Public Health program is being undertaken by Center for Indigenous Knowledge and Organizational Development in collaboration with Water Aid Ghana. Upper East correspondent Albert Sori has more.
The Center for Indigenous Knowledge and Organizational Development, in collaboration with Water Aid Ghana, organized a training program on indigenous development for participants drawn from the Bongo and Kasina West District Assemblies, as well as staff working on the Water, Sanitation and Hygiene for Public Health program. The aim of the workshop was to train the participants to be able to identify already existing local institutions and strengthen them with local resources to be able to promote water sanitation as a way to improve public health at the community level. This way, the indigenes adapt faster without new ideas being imposed on them. The program, dubbed Wash for Public Health, saw participants embark on field trips to interact with community members in order to be able to implement what they learned from the workshop. Wilberforce Latte is head of programs for Southern Sector at the Center for Indigenous Knowledge and Organizational Development.
After a long while in the development arena, we realized that nothing much is changing. I think what is changing are the persons of the people who are involved in the development work. And we realized that this was so because we didn't try to find out how communities were already doing their own thing, and supporting their own internal processes. We try to kind of impose our ideas on them, and most of the time it doesn't work. And when it doesn't work, we think that they are backward. They are not interested in their own development. And that's why as an organization we are promoting endogenous development. The kind of development that recognizes their internal knowledge systems and support them to build on that one.
Participants of the workshop were confident they would be able to use what they learned to make an impact at their various communities.
We are in this training to learn about the indigenous development approaches, which are the SIM, that is Community Institution and Action Plan, and also talking about community vision. And we use that knowledge to go to the community to catalyze to bring the best in them. And in building it, we use that to go towards at the pace of the WASH. And WASH is water sanitation and hygiene management. So this helps me to know a lot about the community, most especially the SIM training.
Communities have become, for some time now, used to direct benefits or interventions from organizations, NGOs, with the vision and the action plan, and that as a tool in the ED approach, communities will better understand their own process and then be able to carry out their agenda effectively. And I think we have to be up and doing and supporting the communities in that direction, so that everything that we are doing will not be our own, but it will be owned by the communities.
The workshop we learned about indigenous development, that is development from within. And it is not only development from within, but then the external development being added from what is within, and then the community grows. I'm going to the community, and as a community development officer, I allow the community to lead me and tell me whatever resources that exist in their community, and they are the same people that will lead me, and then we discover, we come about with the plan and the activities and whatever we will do to be able to achieve some of the things in the community.
Elham Mumuni is the Women Empowerment Manager for the Center for Indigenous Knowledge and Organizational Development. She believes that women groups are critical in tackling water sanitation and public health.
My role in all of this is to identify in communities the economic activities that they are already carrying out, and then how those activities can help to address their wash issues, building on their local knowledge and then local institutions, and then bearing in mind also that these communities have been resilient for a very long time, which means that they have some knowledges, they have some institutions that have been holding them on for this long. So my interest is to identify these institutions they work, especially with women groups and the kind of economic activities they do, and then based on that, help them acquire or build their own household latrines to address their wash issues.
Albert Sori's report for Joy News.
Now, the partnership between the Japan International Corporation and the Upper West Directorate of the Ghana Health Service will come to an end next month. The 10-year partnership saw the government of Ghana and JICA construct over 100 community-based planning, health and services compounds, and went ahead to provide standard medical equipment to all the compounds. Acting Upper West Regional Director of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Winfred Ofosu, at the final dissemination forum on the Ghana Health Service JICA project, stated that the construction and provision of CHIPS compounds has led to a high reduction in neonatal mortality rates in the country. Rafiq Salam has more in the following report.
Ghana Health Services in 2006 adopted the Community Health Planning and Services CHIPS compounds concept by the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, as a national strategy for promoting accessible, quality and equitable services to all Ghanaians, particularly those in rural areas. JICA provided a total of $4.8 million for the first phase of the program, who started in 2006 and ended in 2010. Even though a lot of progress was made in the first phase, JICA and the government of Ghana believed that there was still room for improvement. The second phase of the program started with the construction of more CHIPS compounds and the provision of standard equipment for all the constructed compounds. Acting Upper West Regional Director of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Winfred Ofosu, touted the achievement of the program, which is slated to end next month.
The regional institutional maternal mortality ratio declined from 212 per 100,000 live births in 2010 to 155.8 per 100,000 live births in 2015. As at the end of June 2016, it has declined further to 105 per 100,000 live births. Similarly, the regional institutional neonatal mortality rate declined from 11.2 per 1,000 live births in 2011 to 7.4 per 1,000 live births in 2015. Stillbirth rate also declined from 25.3 per 100,000 live births in 2010 to 15.8 per 1,000 live births in 2015.
Upper West Regional Minister Amin Abidi Suleimani thanked the people of Japan for the many interventions in the region, especially in the area of healthcare delivery.
Government on this part will continue to prioritize healthcare, especially in our rural areas where access to health facility is difficult. I know our stakeholders, before this forum comes, to an end, you would have learned some lessons and good practices that will inform you on how to improve upon health care delivery in your various communities.
A representative of JICA, Masanori Yamazaki, was pleased with the 10-year stint of their work in the Upper West region and hope the region will continue to build and share its experiences with the rest of the country towards the attainment of universal health service delivery. Reporting for Joy News, Rafiq Salam.
Well, the Ministry of Health says it has released an amount of 1.5 million Ghana cedis to 3 psychiatric hospitals in the country. The release comes as the Accra Psychiatric Hospital says it has been compelled to halt new admissions over debts the hospital owes its food supplies. Joining us, Maxwell Agbagba has more in the following report.
The hospital has been in the news for weeks over a 4.2 million Ghana cedi debt it owed its food and medical suppliers. The inadequate food and medical supply pose danger to staff of the hospital as they do not have enough to cater for the inmates. And member of the hospital's communication team, Emmanuel Fibri, says the premier psychiatric hospital has been running on donations. He indicated the 1.6 million Ghana cedis the Ministry of Health promised the hospital is yet to hit the accounts.
Just as you've rightly put it, we were here when the Honorable Minister came around with his team and went on and gave us those assurances that looking at the impact the financial situation actually having on us, he's going to ensure that they work things out immediately, so we'll get some funds running. But we're hoping, as he said, immediately they will bring the money to us. And it's over a week now that we've not gotten the money yet.
In a sharp rebuttal, however, the Ministry of Health says it has disbursed an amount of 1.5 million Ghana cedis to 3 psychiatric hospitals in the country. This was revealed by the Public Relations Officer of the Ministry, Tony Goodman.
I'm aware we've sent 1.5 million actually to the Mental Health Authority to be sent to the psychiatric hospitals across the country. The 3 actually, as I speak to you, the money has actually gone to the various accounts units. So it is not true that they have not received the money. Maybe at the time we were talking to the communication team, they did not cross-check their facts before commenting on the same issue. So I believe that will be a miscommunication gap on the part of the communication team. We have actually sent the money.
In a related development, some nurses at the hospital are worried over delays in the payment of their salary arrears. The Controller and Accountant General's Department in October last year released a little over 700,000 Ghana cedis as payment for outstanding salary arrears owed some striking psychiatric nurses. 10 months after that monies were released, some psychiatric nurses are yet to receive their arrears. Agnes McDogbey is one of the affected nurses.
Some of my colleagues have been paid, but mine and some are not yet in. Basically, they pick them at random. That is how it happens. So my forms wasn't picked. Until date, it has not been paid. Another form came in that we should fill it and then they'll start processing it. That was around in October. We did the same thing and then send it to them. Yet so the money is not yet in. They are supposed to pay my 9 months. Basically, it's very difficult. You know, living in Accra here is very, very difficult because the hospital is not providing you with any transportation, accommodation. Everything depends on you. So with the money not coming in, it's not helping. You have to borrow money from banks, from your family, and we are of age. You can't go to your family for money and I want money to go to work, I want money to feed. It's not fair.
The Health Ministry PRO Tony Goodman, however, says government is doing everything possible to make sure the outstanding arrears are paid.
You submit the supporting document to your account session. It goes to the agency. The agency will bring it to Ministry of Health. We will send to Finance. Finance take the same to Ministry of Auditor General. Auditor General will finish, submit it back to Finance. Finance will submit it back to us, and then we will now inform the institution. So you can see clearly that it's not 2 or 4 days or 1 month issue, and clearly you are not dealing with 4 or 5 people, thousands of names, because you are dealing with promotion, you are dealing with new entrants as well. So that will happen. It's not as if somebody is working and is not being paid anyway. But let me use this opportunity to also appeal to any body who actually has suffered anything because he or she has not been paid these arrears, that we are working to make sure that this arrears is paid. We just waiting for the various institutions to finish their auditing process and verification and submit the document for us to pay.
Maxwell Agbagba reporting for Joy News.
You're watching news today here on your Joy News channel on Multi TV. Also available on your Go TV channel 144 and your DSTV channel 421. Still ahead, the question remains as to whether or not your vote is going to be determined based on the things you see on social media from the various political parties and indeed their candidates. We'll bring you those answers right after these messages. Stay with us.
On to some election-related news. Preparations are steadily ongoing at the Sunyani Coronation Park, a day to the governing NDC's manifesto launch. When the news team visited the park, some men were painting, others were doing carpentry and masonry work, while others erected NDC party boards. Some national and regional party officials, including Bunoahafu Regional NDC Party Chairman Opoku Etuahene and National Treasurer Alhaji Ahmed Abdallah, were there to monitor progress of work. We'll go into the phone lines now and speak to my colleague Precious Semevo, who is in that region gauging the mood ahead of tomorrow's event. Hello, Precious.
Yes, hello.
What can you report ahead of the NDC's manifesto launch tomorrow?
Well, ahead of the manifesto launch tomorrow, preparations are continuous at the Coronation Park. That is the venue where the manifesto will be launched officially. And as I speak to you, some national executives are already in town, ensuring that everything is arranged according to their plan. And as I speak, the main podium is being mounted right in front of the VIP at the Coronation Park. And if you look around, you can see some masonry work, some painting work, some carpentry work, all going on just to ensure that finishing touches are put in place. And the media is also erecting their stands to ensure that they can give publicity. Now, if you have time, I have Deputy Communications Officer of the NDC, Fred Agbenyo, here, and he will be telling us what preparation, the level of preparation as at now. Now, Fred, thanks for joining us on Joy News. What can you say by way of preparation?
Well, so far, I think by the grace of God, everything's under control. The security people are here and trying to make sure that there is sanity at this particular place. You, the media, too, as I speak now, you have also picked your stance where you'll be reporting from tomorrow. The sellers are taking their positions outside of the stadium. We are still trying to put everything in place. So far, so very good. I think that by the grace of God, the weather looks very good, and we are praying that it can still sail tomorrow. Everything, I think, is under control.
Yes, everything under control, and our expectation is that high among NDC faithfuls. We know of the highlights, but what should we expect tomorrow?
Well, I think that a few days ago, the President presented the highlights of our manifesto. What is going to happen here tomorrow is to officially launch the manifesto and make it a public document where everybody who wants to have access to read and know exactly what it contains. And I think that tomorrow the various sector ministers will take the opportunity to elaborate on the things in the manifesto, in the health sector, in the educational sector, in the road infrastructure, housing, and the things we intend doing, God willing, from 8th January 2017, when President Mahama begins his second term in office. So all that will be elaborated well for people to understand exactly what the content is and the strategy or the methodology we intend using to achieve the thing that we have proposed in the manifesto.
All right, so that is Fred Agbenyo. He is the Deputy Communications Officer of the NDC. As he rightly said, if you go outside the Coronation Park, people are mounting their stage where they will be selling paraphernalia of NDC. Food vendors are also positioning themselves just to enjoy or capitalize on tomorrow's activity. Now, in town, the mood in town, I must say, is that of NDC. NDC colors almost at every light pole, almost every building in town in Sunyani. And as we heard Fred also talked about a few minutes ago, the high security officials, that is the police command from the regional police headquarters, where at the Coronation Park here, to also supervise what is happening here to ensure that they provide adequate security for tomorrow's event.
Thank you very much, Precious. That was my colleague, Precious Simmer, bringing us some updates on preparations for the NDC's manifesto launch tomorrow. Meanwhile, the opposition New Patriotic Party, NPP, has set October 8 for its manifesto launch in the northern regional capital, Tamale. The preferred venue was the Tamale Sports Stadium, where the party held its National Delegates Congress. The party delayed in releasing the manifesto for the 2016 elections on suspicion that their main contenders, the governing National Democratic Congress, NDC, will plagiarize their ideas. Still on some election-related news, President John Mahama has rejected claims that the governing National Democratic Congress, which he leads, plagiarized ideas of the opposition New Patriotic Party in its manifesto, highlights of which were presented by him on Tuesday. Addressing the Ghana Traditional Council as part of his tour of the Greater Accra region, the president said it was impossible for the NDC to plagiarize the manifesto of the MPP since that manifesto is yet to be made public. Joy News' Joseph Akable has more in this report.
The NDC flag bearer had opted to pay a courtesy call on all Ghana chiefs to kickstart his tour of the region. The acting chairman of the Ghana Traditional Council, who received the president's entourage, called on him to undertake more developmental projects in Greater Accra.
We are not anticipating promises, but we must say that we have monitored his good performance over the period he has been in headship of the state, during which time the country has enjoyed absolute peace. However, we wish to have had more of the national cake during the period under review. Let me repeat. However, we wish to have had more of the national cake.
The president in his response said he will focus on waste management in the city if given a second term.
Objectives for the city of Accra that we have in the second term is to continue to improve on sanitation. We've been working with the various metropolitan assemblies to try and improve sanitation in their different areas. And as I speak, we're working with the AMA to restart the liquid waste treatment facility at the Mudo so that we stop the ungodly practice of continuing to pollute the sea at Lavender Hill with tons and tons of liquid waste every year. And I'm very glad to say that before the end of this year, we will call the Ghana Traditional Council, we will go to Lavender Hill, we will officially close it down, we will pour libation to the gods and apologize to them for polluting the sea for so many years.
The president then reacted to accusations of plagiarizing ideas of his main contender, Nana Akufo-Addo. President Mahama said it was impossible to copy ideas from a document that does not exist.
I don't think he understands plagiarism. Plagiarism is if you steal from a known document and put in another document. But there is no document called an MPP manifesto that we know about. So how can you have plagiarized from a document that does not exist? If that document exists, they should produce it today. But I know that they said they will produce it on October 8th. That gives them enough time to copy as many things in our manifesto as possible.
From the Gamanche Palace, the president visited Abosokai, where he promised an interchange will be constructed to ease traffic congestion on the route leading to the busiest spare parts hub of the capital.
I want to assure the people of Abosokai that they have not been left out of the ongoing road construction in Accra. By November, we will commission the Kwame Nkrumah interchange. This will increase the traffic situation here. So we have secured funds for an interchange for Abosokai.
Meanwhile, former Pro-Vice-Chancellor of the University for Development Studies, Professor Dr. David Miller, has chided politicians and political parties accusing each other of copying or stealing ideas from their manifestos. Speaking at a review meeting for Master Plan for the Savannah Accelerated Development Authority, he said for the country to develop, people need to embrace each other's ideas, work to make them better rather than engaging in what he called childish behavior. He expressed fears that good projects brought by government are often truncated once they're voted out of power. Rafiq Salam reports from WA.
The purpose of the review meeting for the master plan of the Savannah Accelerated Development Authority, SADA, is to provide opportunity for stakeholders to observe, critique, and contribute to the shaping of the draft master planning document. Former Pro-Vice Chancellor of the University for Development Studies, Professor Dr. David Miller, called for a stop to the politicization of projects introduced by governments over the years, which are intended to lift the people from the poverty quagmire. He cited the issue of the 40-year development plan started by the National Development Commission, which he has fears that it will be flamed out once there is a change of government.
Even for the 40-year development plan we are engaging, we can still have the government come and says, well, I don't believe in this long-term plan, I believe in manifestos. And we will lose out completely. We need to have some continuity in the growth of our country from the political leaders, and we don't get it. We don't get it. I don't want to be specific on that, but you don't see somebody say, oh, but this idea you have is good. So if I come to, meanwhile we are not in the same political party.
Professor Dr. Miller, who is also the owner and foundation vice chancellor of Miller Institute for Transdisciplinary and Development Studies, also chided at political parties, accusing each other of copying one's manifesto, which he described as childish.
The discourse is that, oh, you stole this from me. Don't look at my notes. This is kindergarten. That's how we went to school. You tell your classmates, don't copy me. Now for people to come up with manifestos, this one is waiting for that one. Then all of a sudden, oh, you stole my idea. That's how we develop. You have to steal ideas. Even the one who says you've stolen his idea, when you go into it, you realize that the ideas, he also stole it from somewhere. The technology, brought it from Europe. It's also stolen, or from China, or listen. So let's stop that bickering. It's too childish to find leaders say that this is mine, don't take. Let us say, I'm doing this, but my colleague here is also doing the same, but he's doing this. I would, if it's me, I'll add this more, or I'll reduce this and go this way. Then it becomes nationalistic. But now it's sectionalistic, and that is my fear for even SADA.
Deputy Upper West Regional Minister Dr. Museibu Mohamed Alpha assured them of commitment and support of the government to implement the master plan when it is completed. Reporting for Joy News, Rafiq Salam. Wow.
And here in Accra, I'm Benis Abu Baidu. You're watching Joy News. Today, we'll bring you business news right after this break.
Hello again, good afternoon and welcome to business. Prices of petroleum products should go down marginally from this weekend. This has been influenced by some developments on the international market. There's more in this report.
Drop will be influenced by some marginal reduction in the price of crude oil on the international market, as well as finished products over the past 2 weeks. The drop is also as a result of a favorable outlook for the Ghana cedi as the country awaits the Eurobond and Cocoa loan syndication cash. Our calculations show that petrol could go up by just under 1%, whilst diesel could drop by almost 2%. However, LPG might witness the biggest drop of about 4% per kilogram. But with the over 70 oil marketing companies in operation, it is not likely that all of them will reduce their prices at the various service stations. Joy Business understands some may not even reduce their prices at all. This is because of a new policy that was implemented earlier this year, which allows each oil marketing company to set its own price.
Now, Ghana could draw useful lessons from the United Kingdom and the Netherlands in developing its burgeoning pensions industry. That's according to the Chief Executive of the People's Pension Trust, Samuel Bediako Waterberg. This is coming as the Netherlands and the UK, known to be the most advanced countries in the world in employee welfare scheme administration, marked Pensions Awareness Day on the 15th of September. There's more in this report.
Pensions Awareness Day is observed every year on September 15 in the UK and Netherlands. This is part of initiatives to ultimately ensure workers do not walk into pension poverty. Chief Executive of the People's Pension Trust, Samuel Bediako Waterberg, explains to Joy Business it may be necessary for such an initiative to be replicated here in Ghana towards growing the local pensions industry.
I think we should have parties like the authority, the industry players all coming together and create this financial awareness about pension and about insurance. I think we also have to show the success stories of pension. There are a lot of people currently who are on retirement and who are receiving their benefits, and they are able to cope. We have to celebrate and also let them share their stories to the people that don't have pension currently. I think that will also create this needed awareness. I've been in the market a lot, and I've had a lot of interactions with workers, both formal and informal sector. People are aware of pension. They know what pension is, but often it's the trust. They don't know who they can trust to give their money to for 10, 20, 30 years. So I think that's where pension awareness will help. That's where I think MPRA comes in to set the rules and also to declare the places that are regulated and the ones that are not regulated.
People's Pension Trust Ghana Limited is the latest company to be licensed by the National Pensions Regulatory Authority as a corporate trustee. So what different thing is the company bringing into the market?
In Ghana, we have 14 million working population. Out of the 14 million, 12 million plus falls in the informal sector without any pension product. And anyone in Ghana has a relative that falls in the informal sector. What happens is that this person will be working his whole adult life, 40 years. In the moment that he or she stops work, he falls in what we call old age poverty. We want to tackle this issue that people after working life will fall into the old age poverty. And we believe that it's our responsibility to also take care of this large chunk of workers that fall in the informal sector without any pension scheme. So we are licensed to do tier 2 and tier 3, but our focus will be on the long chunk, that is the tier 3. So we want to focus on the 10 million plus workers without any pension scheme.
People's Pension Trust Ghana Limited comes into the market as the 28th corporate trustee. It is backed by the largest pension insurers and administrators of the Dutch pension sector, London Foundation, Aegon, Acme Foundation, amongst others.
And that's it for Midday News in Business. Now let's catch up again for more business development at 1 p.m. on the marketplace. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji Wiafi. Good afternoon.
My name is Baba Tanda. Good afternoon. Welcome to the sports segment on News Today. Now, we may have found out who the winner of the 2016 Premier League season is, and that is Wa All Stars, because they did beat Aduana Stars by 2-1 at the Wa Park to win the 2015-2016 Premier League title. Now, the praises will continue. And Dreams FC coach CK Akono has hailed them for winning this season's Ghana Premier League title. Now, the Wa-based side clinched their first major silverware on Wednesday after beating Aduana Stars 2-1 in front of a partisan crowd. Now, despite the game being marred by controversies, All Stars managed to secure the famous win, which earned them the title. For coach CK Akono, why All Stars deserve the title?
No, I'm not surprised. Listen, if you've been to Wa before, I just traveled to Wa and I saw the distance. For these guys to be going up and down almost every week in, week out, I mean, we must respect that. I mean, as a coach, I respect the technical men and the guys. What they've done a good job, a good job. And you see, one would talk about issues, but this was a long process. They started winning. They kept the point. We would have been struggling if we've not had the necessary points that we needed. Yeah. They got the necessary points as early as possible, and so they maintained the level where they were playing at that top, at the top, and so they deserve it. One will disagree. For me, I believe they deserve it, and they've worked very, very hard for it. Also, I think management of any other teams, they've done because of the nature of our league, no sponsorship, to manage to be able to get money, traveling up and down, pay players. How they do that, I really marvel. So they've all done very, very well in that end.
Okay, so the league title has been decided. Maybe the first and second places have been decided. Now, what is left is the battle for relegation, or the battle to escape relegation, and who join Wa All Stars and Aduana Stars for this year's top 4, competition. Let's check out what the fixtures are and see the permutations. Let's begin first with the teams that are likely to be relegated. New Edibiasi and Hazakes already have, they have been relegated. And New Edibiasi, they host Hartefuk. Hartefuk is one of the 2 teams who are, struggling for a position in the top 4. And then we also have Hazakes. Hazakes, they are at home to Wa All Stars. Of course, that match will also have very little to be desired. Wa All Stars have already won the league, and Hazakes already have been relegated. But for some funny reason, Hazakes say they want to beat Wa All Stars just to maintain, their good spirits. We also have Liberty Professionals. And talking about Liberty Professionals, the players boycotted training this morning because of unpaid salaries. Now, we were told earlier this week that their management had decided to pay them on Wednesday. But what actually happened was that on Wednesday, they received only a month's salary. And so today, they decided not to come to training. Coach George Lamte, who is the head coach, assistant coach Felix Abuache, they were all there, and only one player, David Osabu, attended training, and for which reason he couldn't train since he was the only player to have reported. Brekum Chelsea also are taking on Techiman City in what many have termed as the decider as to which of these 2 teams will join Hazakes and New Edibiasi in the relegation zone. So Chelsea hosts Techiman City. Then we have Liberty Professionals who are taking on Bichim United. Liberty Professionals also need to win this game because they are also not safe. Should they lose this game at the Karendorf Park, which is their home grounds, then they could face relegation. They are hosting Bichim United on Sunday. Aduana Stars, they play Inter Allies. Inter Allies have managed to put themselves 10th, but they have this. They have 37 points, meaning that they need to secure at least 1 point to be sure of their retention in the Premier League. Dreams FC, they will wrap up this weekend's round of action for the Premier League. They are hosting draws at the Theatre of Dreams in Dewu. Kotoko, they host Wafa. Let me say, Kotoko are also one of the teams who are battling for a position in the top 4 at the end of the season. And then let's also note that these are the last round of matches for the 2015-2016 Ghana Premier League. So these are the matches that will be played simultaneously. They will kick off at 15 hours GMT or 3 p.m. local time. And by Sunday, 5 p.m., we'll know which 3 teams or which team will join Hazakes and New Edibiasi to the Division 1, league. And then we'll also know who will join Wa All Stars and Aduana Stars for the top 4 competition for this year. Now, you should log on to the sports page of myjoyonline.com. We have a lot of previews for you ahead of this this weekend's round of matches. That's week 30's round of matches. And also at 2 p.m., you should join us on Locker Room on 99.7 Joy FM
for more on this particular issue. You can also check out other headlines on the sports page of myjoyonline.com. On Twitter, our handle is @JoySportsGH, and then on Facebook, it is Joy Sports. My name is Baba Tando. Good afternoon.
Let's talk some entertainment here on Joy News Today. Now, songstress Nanaya, who recently launched herself as a solo artist, has been tagged as struggling by some section of the public. Reacting to this, highlight musician Pat Thomas, who doubles as her father, says she is a talented artist and must be pushed.
She's doing her own thing, and we just have to support her to do whatever she likes to do. You understand? Because she's a talented lady, singer, and she has a lot of things in her which is supposed to come out. But she just started, so let's just see how it goes. She's trying to do the best that she can, and all that I can say is we need to support her.
Are you doing something in your capacity, to support her?
Many times we perform together, and we've recorded it before, and so now that she wants to be all by herself, all that we can do is to, if she any help that she needs, I'm there to help her. You understand? So I'm cool with that, everything.
Okay. Now, how well can you prepare your favorite meal? Well, highlight musician Pat Thomas did us the honors by telling us how he prepares his favorite meal, fufu.
Oh. You gotta have your onions, pepper, tomato, sometimes precursor, and a whole lot of ingredients.
Should I blend it?
Yeah, you can blend it.
It's blended.
And what again? Kakadro, and as a matter of fact, I like fish, so you can use amani. Sometimes Kobe. My wife does with Kobe, but I don't like salt, so I don't like Kobe.
Okay.
Now.
We're getting there.
Yeah, after that you just mix it up,
Away from that, gospel music, the Otego sisters have revealed that they wouldn't mind collaborating with secular artists. They argue that they are all one people.
With Pat Thomas and then Papa Yankson, Ambule, we are all in one company, Megastar. So we used to sing together. When we go to rehearsals, we do all things, but everybody know where he stands.
Yeah, but are you guys looking forward to collaborate on a song?
Jualaka, Pat Thomas as well, and it's so unfortunate. My nephew, Castro is my nephew. Yeah. We decided to do collaboration with him, but at the end of the day, God knows why. But I've been
That's it for entertainment here on Joy News Today. My name is Becky.
That's all for this edition of Joy News Today. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. Many thanks for your company. My name is Benis Abubedu. Your comprehensive business program, The Marketplace, is up next. Have a great afternoon.